The judge finished reading the sentence. The courtroom went silent, and then she laughed. Not nervously, not from shock. She laughed, and then asked the judge one question. "Can I play a song, Mama, before I go?" That exchange happened inside a Knox County courtroom in 1996. On September 30th, 2026, Tennessee is scheduled to carry out that sentence. If it goes forward, Christa Pike will be the first woman executed in Tennessee in over 200 years. But that is not what makes this case unforgettable. 3 people were in those woods that night. They received 3 completely different punishments. One faces the scheduled end, one could walk free this year, and one never spent a single night behind bars. Same crime, same night, same woods. This is their story. Before we talk about what happened, you need to know who was lost. Colleen Slemmer was 19 years old. She grew up in Florida in a warm and loving home. From the time she was 8 years old, she was drawn to helping children with disabilities. Nobody told her to. That was simply who she was. She ran marathons on weekends. She wanted to go to college. When the cost became a barrier, she found another way. She enrolled in Job Corps, a federal program offering vocational training to young people. The center closest to her home did not offer computer training, so she looked further. She found a center in Knoxville, Tennessee. She packed her bags and moved. She had been there for approximately 3 months when she encountered the wrong person. 3 months. She had done nothing wrong, said nothing wrong. She simply existed in the same building. As someone who had already decided she needed to be taught a lesson, January 12th, 1995, Knoxville, Tennessee, Christa Pike was 18 years old. She had convinced herself that Colleen was pursuing her boyfriend. There was no evidence of this. Not a single person supported the idea, but in Christa's mind, it was very real. The day before, she told a fellow student plainly and calmly she was going to end Colleen's life. When asked why, her answer was 4 words: "I just felt mean today." The next evening, Christa approached Colleen with an offer of peace. Colleen had no reason to be suspicious. All 4 of them, Christa, her boyfriend Tadariel Shipp, a third person named Shadola Peterson, and Colleen, signed out of the dormitory log together that evening. Their names and the time, all recorded. They walked to a remote wooded area on the University of Tennessee agricultural campus. No streetlights, no witnesses, nowhere to run. Court records document what followed. One of the most brutal attacks in Knox County history. When it was over, Christa reached into the wound on Colleen's skull, removed a bone fragment with her bare hand, placed it in her jacket pocket, and walked back to the dormitory. That same night, she went to a fellow student's room, pulled the fragment from her pocket, and described everything that had happened. She was not shaking, she was not afraid, she was bragging. The dormitory log told investigators everything. 4 names signed out, 3 names signed back in. All 3, Christa Pike, Tadariel Shipp, and Shadola Peterson, were charged with first-degree murder. And here is where this case becomes a 2-tiers story. Same crime, same night, same wood, 3 completely different outcomes. Shadola Peterson, who stood watch, accepted a deal, 6 years probation. She walked out of court the same day she was sentenced. She never spent a single night behind bars. Tadariel Shipp, Christa's boyfriend, was convicted of first-degree murder. Because he was 17 at the time, he could not receive the same sentence as Christa. He received life with parole eligibility. His parole eligibility date, December 2026, the same year Christa is scheduled to die, and Christa Pike, sentenced to death at 20 years old, the youngest woman sentenced to death in the United States at that time. When the judge finished reading her sentence, she laughed, then asked to play a song. Christa Pike has been on death row for nearly 30 years. Every standard legal avenue has been exhausted. Her lawyers are now challenging the constitutionality of the execution method itself, arguing the state is not equipped to carry it out without causing unnecessary suffering. This challenge comes directly after the botched execution of another inmate in May 2026, where staff attempted to secure an intravenous line more than a dozen times over more than an hour. A hearing has been scheduled for August 11th, just days from now, in Knox County Criminal Court. September 30th, 2026 remains the scheduled date. Colleen Slemmer's mother, May Martinez, has said she intends to be in that room when it happens. 30 years later, she still does not have all of her daughter's remains. One bone fragment, still in state custody, still not returned to her mother. 3 people walked into those woods that night. One never spent a night behind bars. One may walk free before the year ends, and one is 57 days away from a scheduled execution. We are not here to argue whether the sentence is right or wrong. We are here to document what the record shows. 1 crime, 1 victim, 3 people, 3 completely different outcomes, and a mother who has waited 30 years for all of her daughter to come home. The justice system does not have 2 sides, it has 2 tiers. My name is 2 tiers. The hearing is August 11th. The date is September 30th. We will be covering every development. Subscribe so you're there when it happens.